All right, fantastic. We'll go ahead and get started. Most of you know me. I'm Kevin McNicholas. I am the school social worker in Gillespie and one of the founders of Mental Health First Responders. Chaz Swearingen, another of our founders, is on with us. He's driving to beautiful Painted today. Um, our first presenter for today, welcome to her and welcome back to all of you. We have Heather Bachman, who is going to be talking to us about Camp Rainbow. And Heather, I will turn it over to you.
Great. Thank you so much. Well, thank you guys for
Absolutely.
having me. I'm looking forward to being here. Let me get myself screen shared. Are you guys seeing my screen? You can see my presentation. Yep. Okay, great. Thank you again for having me. My name is Heather Bachman, and I'm the executive director of the Camp Rainbow Foundation. Kevin asked me to come on today and just tell you a little bit about Camp Rainbow and what we do and how we serve our community. So that's what I'm going to do. Please ask me any questions or stop me if something doesn't make sense, and we'll just kind of jump in. Um, Camp Rainbow provides free camp experiences and programs for children and families dealing with a pediatric cancer diagnosis. We predominantly serve the St. Louis area, but also go into the Illinois side of the river because all of our campers are treated at one of the three children's hospitals. Perhaps some of the kids that you guys know have come over to Children's, Cardinal Glennon, or Mercy Hospital, and therefore are our campers. So we do have a lot of kids on that side of the river. Um, we have we've hosted about a little over 14,000, about 14,500 campers since our beginning, which was in 1988. And we currently have 7 camp programs, but we're adding an 8th camp program in February of 2026. So we currently have an oncology camp, which is a camp for obviously for the patient, the child who has cancer or blood related disease. They're typically 4 to 14 years old in that program. They typically spend the night, but they do not have to. We have a SIBS camp. That camp is for the super important brothers and sisters of the oncology patients. So that camp, our campers also spend the night, and they are typically between the ages of 4 and 15 years old. Then we have a caregiver and me that gives our littlest campers, 3, 4, 5-year-old campers, an opportunity to come out with the parent and have a day at camp just to kind of see what it's like before they come out and spend the night. We host a family camp, which is this fall in October, and that camp is for the whole family unit. It's for the child with the cancer diagnosis, but also for their parents and their siblings, anyone who lives under the current roof with them. So if grandma and grandpa live under their roof and help take care of that, they come too. So our campers range in age from infant to senior for that program. We have a teen camp, so our teens they get together in 2 different ways. So they have a teen camp opportunity. This year they're actually traveling down the road to Kansas City for a long weekend. They're typically high school aged kids, and then we have our what we call our TNT program. So that program was really created as a social program to keep our teen campers engaged throughout the year. There's some learning leadership components that go with that. So some resume building and kind of leadership training, but also just a lot of fun. They get together about 7 times a year. We have our camp in program. So that takes camp into the hospital. So we currently take camp 7 times a year into Children's, BJC Children's, Cardinal Glennon, Mercy, and now Mercy Hospital or I'm sorry, what's it called? Mizzou. It's Mizzou's Mercy Hospital in Columbia. That's new to us this fall. We see over 1,000 campers in that one program because we're in the hospital. We're seeing kids on the hospital floors. We're seeing them in their clinics in what they call, sometimes referred to as the chairs or the treatment chairs while they're getting chemo, things like that. And then our newest camp is our bereavement family camp. So we're starting that camp in February of 2026. We're modeling it very much like our family camp program, which is an urban camp. It means that it meets in the St. Louis area in a hotel. We get to do fun things all over the city. The big difference here, obviously, on this camp is that this is for a family that has lost a child to cancer. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later on. So let me tell you how we began. The Camp Rainbow story begins with these 2 people, Alan Brockman and his wife, Ronnie. In 1988, Alan was a visitor for a group called the Dream Factory. It's very similar to Make-A-Wish, what Make-A-Wish does now. So Ronnie, or Alan, I'm sorry, went to the hospital, was visiting a sick child, and just asked them, kind of what was their wish, what was their dream. That child said, I really want to go to camp like my friends and my siblings. And Alan went home with his can-do attitude and said to his wife, I think we could probably do this, right? And she was like, I guess so. So that first summer, they pulled it together. They had 28 volunteers, or 28 counselors, 10 volunteers, and 28 campers. We're really proud of the fact that every single summer, even throughout COVID, Camp Rainbow has continued to create magical camp experiences for our campers. So during COVID, obviously, we have very sick children. We were in a lockdown scenario, but we did it all virtually. So we actually saw more campers through our camp programs in the 2020 and 2021, because we could see kids who were in hospitals, in more restrictive treatment patterns and places, because they were doing it virtually. So anyway, so we're really proud of that fact, and that we continued on. So I kind of talked a little bit about our camp programs, but as you can see, every couple years we have a pattern of reassessing what's out there, the needs of our community, and then adding in a program that can help meet those needs. So this is just sort of the timeline of that happening. So like I said, we're really excited because we are going to expand Camp Rainbow's programs this year in two big ways. So one, we're going to take our Camp In program down the road to Columbia, Missouri. This allows us to see an additional 350 campers through that program. Again, it's 7 times a year. We'll be in the hospital, on the floors, and in the treatment facilities. Things that we do during our Camp In program: we bring crafts and games. We bring some favorite activities, or these fun wooden snakes kids love to paint. We do a lot of like Taylor Swift bracelets, just a lot of like entertaining children while they're sitting in a waiting room before they go back to treatment. And then when they do go back to treatment, or if they're in the hospital floors, on the floors in their rooms, then we will send them with a bag filled with camp crafts and activities, so that they have something to do that day other than maybe a screen and a nap. So we try to keep them busy while they're there. And then our other program, like I said, is our bereavement program. Through this program, we're seeking to be one less loss for a family. So as you can imagine, when a child passes away from cancer, their family has typically had a really long fight, sometimes, years and years of fighting with this disease for their child. And through that process, they have developed a really strong network of people. So they have social workers, child life workers, the nurses, the doctors, there's systems in the hospital. There's other providers like Camp Rainbow that provide services to that family. And unfortunately, when that child passes away, all of those services for the most part end, because they're centered on the child who had cancer. So when the child with cancer is no longer around, there are some immediate services that are provided to the family, but over time, those kind of go away, and the family is very much left kind of on their own to deal with this tremendous loss. So our goal here is to be one less loss. We want to keep them engaged and involved with an important support community that they can still continue to have a bond with, that they can, it's a group of people that have walked a similar walk to them, understand what they're going through, and can provide support in a lot of different ways. So our family camp program, most of our camp programs have no counseling associated with them. That's typically surprising to people. I think they think we spend a lot of time counseling children. But it's very natural, very organic conversations that we have. We have social workers, child life workers, mental health specialists on property, as well as a full health center with all of the nurses, because we provide chemo on site and things like that to treat the children. But this camp is the only one that alters that statement, and that we do actually plan to be providing some very simple counseling services. And then what we want to do then is then connect the family back to their local resources for counseling. We don't want to unpack something and then over a weekend, a relatively short period of time, and then send them out into the world and say, okay, well, we'll see you next year. So I think a lot of you guys are school social workers. If you're looking for an opportunity to volunteer, call us up. We would love to have you. We're looking for people trained in counseling and working through hard, difficult conversations to assist us with this program. We do intend to have a memorial ceremony at the beginning of this weekend on Saturday morning. And also we've just been told that a lot of families have a hard time getting out of the car. So we have a opportunity for counselors to be present when the families arrive so that they can provide support as they get out of the car and enter the building and begin to interact and meet other people. So again, we're really proud of this program. We're looking forward to beginning it in February of 2026. So just a little bit about how you can be involved at Camp Rainbow. If you have any interest at all, we have 7 dedicated camp employees. That's it. So as you can see, we provide a lot of services. We'll see about 1,500 campers a year, so we need a lot of help. We do that because we have a really strong volunteer leadership team. So each of our camp programs has 1 or 2 individuals that are sort of our lead volunteers over the camp. And then we have about 250 volunteers that come out in a lot of different capacities. So we have volunteer opportunities that include spending the night in cabins during our overnight sessions, coming out and spending the night at camp, but not in a cabin, but providing sort of the, maybe they're in the art room or they're doing archery or swimming or, helping to set up or take down or do an evening activity, those kinds of things. And then we also have the opportunity for people to come out just during the day and spend some time with kids, do a skill or a craft that they're very passionate about or specialized in. And then, of course, like all nonprofits, we always have availability in our office. So if you have any interest, Trisha at camprainbow.com is the gal to reach out to. We would love, love, love to have all of you join us for a session. So as I'm continuing on with my shameless plug, why volunteer with us? Why spend time with us? Because you get to make a difference in the life of a child with cancer. But it's also super fun. And it also is a great resume builder. So, again, you can help campers with daily activities. You can be a tremendous cheerleader, and you just get to really be part of something special. People ask me all the time, isn't it super sad? And I would say there are aspects of it that are challenging and difficult and sometimes sad. But for the most part, it is a solid community that is built on belonging and bravery. So Camp Rainbow, I would say, is, if I had to describe it in just a couple words, is extreme acts of bravery. It's the bravery that a parent needs to sign their sick child up. They come into the hospital room and they say, here, why don't you send your kid to camp? Here's an application. And then they have to do that. They have to sign them up. So it's the great brave acts of signing your child up and packing him up and bringing him out to camp and leaving him with us. And then the bravery it takes to be that child to say, hi, my name is, and I'm excited to be here. And I'm going to touch a fish and jump off a diving board and, zip line for the first time and do all those things up to leading a campfire by themselves for the first time. So that to me is what we are. Our motto is we come as individuals, but we leave as a family. And so, we're always excited to expand and grow our family. So I think that pretty much sums us up. I just have a couple pictures. This is a family. Julia in the chair has been battling cancer for most of her life. She's about 14 years old and she's been battling cancer most of her life. And so they have been to family camp several times. And there's just a quote there about, kind of what her dad has to say about camp. And then I just have another quote here about from one of the parents where it talks about camp as a sanctuary for our children. They connect with others who share similar experiences as cancer kids and cancer kids siblings. So anyway, we think it's an awesome, amazing place, and we're really proud of it. And I really appreciate the opportunity to talk to you guys about it today. Thank you.
Heather, thank
Yes.
you.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. I just want to share. I did attend Camp Rainbow with my son Colton.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yes, yes, and it was an amazing experience for Colton, but for the entire family. We had an amazing. We went both when while he was sick, and then the year after he had recovered. So I definitely recommend, if anyone has a heart to deal with families that are going through such a hard time, it is an amazing experience.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. I love to hear that. We never know out in the wild when people are going to tell us about their Camp Rainbow experience. So I always think that's awesome and amazing. So thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
And Jackie, you are actually who I heard about this from and tucked it away in my memory bank, but had another of our family campers. And this young man is now in eighth grade. And he kept coming in. It was actually his sister who had the diagnosis, but they went to family camp, and he kept asking me, Mr. McNicholas, when are you gonna have on your meeting? When are you gonna have Camp Rainbow? Like he was staying on me, and I'm like, dude, I got her scheduled. We're all set. So I'm gonna have to tell him this afternoon that we got you guys on here, and they sang all of your praises too. I think it's a fantastic thing, and honestly, I know there's a lot of camps, Heather, for a lot of different things, but the way you described your structure and what you're offering, that's very, very different from a lot of what I'm seeing. And clearly, what you said, 1,500 campers a year typically.
Yes. Hmm.
You're very much doing a lot of things right then. That's super cool.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Anybody have any questions or feedback for Heather?
Can a family volunteer? Like, even if we aren't affected by cancer, if we bring, like, say, a 12-year-old and a parent or something like that?
Yeah, actually, we have opportunities at our family camp, which is in the fall. It's actually October 17th through 19th this year. We have opportunities for family units to come out and volunteer and give back. I'll just shameless plug. So it's an urban camp. It's at the Chesterfield Drury Plaza. Um, so right off the highway. And we have programming on Saturday morning from like pretty much like 8 to 2 at a park, which is just around the corner. It's basically, if you're from the St. Louis area, it's on the other side of what once was the mall. There's this lovely park that was built there with an amphitheater now, and we are having programming there. It's a fall festival, so I mean we have like a climbing wall, we have alpacas coming, we have face painters, and just Camp Rainbow's kind of like an over the top carnival meets a birthday party meets a circus kind of sometimes. Like we have 17 different activities happening for a block of time, and so we need a lot of volunteers to come out and um help make that happen. So yeah, if you have any interest at all, Trisha at camprainbow.com, she can give you the link to register. But we welcome families to come out. And typically in our other overnight programs, our volunteers have to be 18 years or older. We follow the guidance of the American Camp Association, and they require the volunteers to be 18 years or older. But our family camp is unique in that we like families to give back to families. So yes.
Awesome. Any further questions? All right, fantastic. Heather, thank you so much yet again.
Thank
I
you.
really, really appreciate you. I am going to see if I can, Heather, if I can take co-host back from you.
Yeah, you know what? I'll drop off and I think it'll give it to you when I drop.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks for
Thank you,
being with us. I
everyone. Thank you for
appreciate
your
you.
time. Appreciate
Thanks.
it.
Fantastic. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, our next presenters, Erica and Brandon Strode, I met at a very special event to us. And I'm going to see if I can share my screen here, but I'm not seeing the button for it. Hold on. Um, my sons, Jeremiah and Micah, are currently in sixth and third grade. And Jeremiah, when he was in kindergarten, he was 5 years old, he saw some of the older boys at his school with their heads shaved in March, and they did a St. Baldrick's event. Which, if you're not familiar with St. Baldrick's, it's kids get their heads shaved and they fundraise and they get their heads shaved in solidarity with kids with cancer, and a really, really fantastic thing. And so my sons have done this each year. They've raised almost $4,000 between the two of them. And it goes to research and programs and all of that. So we did not have an event local to us this year. So we ended up at the firehouse in Maryville and met Erica and Brandon, who are absolutely fantastic individuals and have a super cool, super cool foundation they started that they were hoping to share with us. So I will turn over to you guys, and we'll make you co-host.
Hey, how are you?
Good, Brandon. Thanks for being with us.
Yeah, thank you for having us. Erica apologizes she couldn't be on the call today. Just she's homeschooling our daughter, so she's full into the mix right now with getting homeschool going.
Understandable. No
Um,
worries.
so I'm gonna go ahead and present for us. We thank you guys for the opportunity to be here, and just wow, what a Camp Rainbow, pretty amazing organization. And uh, just happy to hear her presentation. So let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's see. Sorry, 1 second. Try that again. There it goes. Okay. Sorry, running into some technical problems here. All right, there we go. Okay, can you guys see the slideshow now?
Yep, sure can.
Okay, perfect. So my wife and I, Erica is my wife. She actually runs, she's the executive director, but we opened One Ribbon United. And our goal is just to be there alongside families and kids who are impacted by childhood cancer. Um, so just kind of give a little backstory. So when our daughter was 4 years old, she was diagnosed with a Wilms tumor, and that's kind of what started our journey. And so for the first year, she was going through treatment. Every Friday, we would be at the hospital um, getting her treatment. She had to go through radiation. Later that year, she was diagnosed or deemed in remission. But unfortunately, she relapsed just a short 3 months later, and the cancer had spread to a small piece in her lungs, which resulted in us having to get different kinds of treatment, which resulted in different kinds of obstacles, such as longer hospital stays. Our daughter had to have more surgeries. So it kind of just sparked this idea that we really wanted to give back and help other families. And part of that is we noticed when you first get diagnosed or when your child gets diagnosed, they give you this big old packet. And this big packet has tons of different ways and different organizations that want to help and be there for you financially, and support you guys. And it's an amazing feeling to have all these different options for help. But the one thing that Erica and I noticed was that there was no religious or organization, somebody there who might be willing to help you spiritually. And because when our daughter was diagnosed, that became a big part of our lives getting through this trauma that we were experiencing. And so we thought, man, it would be really great if there was an organization that would be willing to help not only financially, but also, spiritually. And another thing that we noticed was that, a lot of the organizations, they give money to the families for help to pay the bills, which is fantastic. We needed it. They give gifts to the child who is diagnosed, completely understandable. But oftentimes we notice that the siblings go unnoticed, and it can be difficult, just as difficult for the siblings as it is for the child who's being treated. So one of the things that we wanted to do was give back in all the ways that we felt we were missing when we were going through this. So that's kind of where our story began, is just wanting to give back in a way that we felt we needed, and thought that maybe others would too. I'm going to go ahead and slide through. So how we help, excuse me for a second. All right. So how we help, that we try to come alongside the families and participate by communicating with them and letting them know that we're there. Um, we offer sibling support. So if there's a child who's struggling, our own teenagers who were a few years younger now, or a few years older now than they were then, but they offer to speak to other kids who may be experiencing what they went through when their sister was diagnosed. And we also offer that as support for us, like if somebody wants us to help talk to their kids or understand or be there for them. But part of that sibling support, we include the birthday club. We kind of include both the patients and the siblings in the birthday club. And what we do with the birthday club is we track and monitor the birthdays, and we send each year them a gift card on their birthday. It's a birthday card, and then we include a $20 gift card with that, just to kind of let them know that we're here, that they're not alone, and that people are thinking of them just as much as they're thinking of the patients. And we also send us to the patients to make sure that they know that they're being supported and being thought of. So the next thing we try to do this every quarter, is we try to give quarterly donations to both St. Louis Children's Hospital and Cardinal Glennon. Those are the two hospitals currently that we have been accepted into, as far as so now when patients get their packets for when they're first diagnosed and they get their packets, or if they relapse and they get another packet. Our organization is in part of that packet. So now whenever they go to sign up for services, our information's there for them. But we try to give things that we know the kids really enjoy or need while getting treatment. Stuffed animals are a big one: poppets, fidget spinners, games, coloring books, puzzles, you name it, we've delivered it. We've looked into also giving back to the it's like a shared kitchen for the inpatient families, and so we're looking at donating food for that shared room, just to help, because sometimes it's hard to get down to the cafeteria when your child's inpatient, and whether if they're sick or scared or just receiving treatment, it can be difficult to want to leave your child. And so they have this room, and it has a few items, but that's something that we work on. um, so every quarter we try to give a large donation of items, and we try to make those items equal $500 worth of items or more. Usually we're well beyond that usually. So that's one of the things that we do, that to work directly with the hospitals. And then what we offer spiritual support. So for any family that asks of it, it's not required to sign up. If we've had families who want none of this support, and that is totally fine with us. We totally understand that in these scenarios, not only are there going to be people who are just don't believe in this aspect, which is fine with us. But we also understand that there may be families who are angry and don't want to deal with that as part of this journey, and we totally understand that. So all the spiritual support that we offer is completely by choice. If the families sign up, they do not have to request this. It is an option on our form. But we like to offer Bibles to the families. So we offer Bibles to the adults, the teens, and the children. And often, actually, I would say probably 80% of the families that sign up, if not 85, request Bibles. So we're often sending out multiple Bibles per family for them to have and to bring them comfort. And then we also offer a prayer list. And so that prayer list that we operate is it has a first name of the child who is receiving treatment. It has kind of like their diagnosis or maybe their current situation, and any special prayer requests that they might have asked for. And this prayer list is operated completely by volunteers. I think we have 17 volunteers now, of people who receive and pray over this prayer list, and pray for the kids. And it's operated all via email. I manage the prayer list page, and then I send out an email every Monday that contains the prayer list link, and people are able to go on there and pray for the kids as they are able to do so. And we just feel that it brings a big part to our mission, which is, you know, just talking to God and praying for the kids. It's a big part of our life, and we saw the benefit to our kids, or our daughter, and so being able to share that with others is a big a big part of our goal. And then so another project that we operate, and this is again, all these things are completely by choice. The families choose which ones they want. So we offer monthly words of encouragement. And so this is also volunteer based. A lot of times it's Erica and I just writing letters to the parents, or writing our own letters to the kids. Or we've even gone as far as to just colored pictures to send to the kids. We have had volunteers from out the United States sign up and volunteer and send letters to the children. A lot of times, it's little words of just providing that encouragement, letting the children and their families and the siblings all know that they're not alone, and that there are people who are thinking of them and believe in them, and want to give them strength if they need it. So this is a great way, and it's a great volunteer opportunity, and it can be you can write letters that are by hand and send them to us, or you could like I did I personally work for Cisco Systems, and so I work with one of the teams that I work with. We did a volunteer event, and that volunteer event was to do this as a group. We got over WebEx, and people chatted while they colored pictures or wrote letters. And a lot of the family, or a lot of the people that I worked with, got their kids involved, and their kids wanted to send pictures and send little words of encouragement to these families. So every month we deliver these. We send them out to each of the families that have requested them. And so it's just a great way to kind of give hope, give encouragement, let people know that they're not alone. And it's also just a great way to volunteer your time. So those are the ways that we at One Ribbon try to help. We're kind of a small organization, so it's just my wife and I, and then we have a board that helps volunteer when we need it. So ways that you can get involved: if you know of a business or a church that would like to partner with us, we have one church that helps fund us each year, and then another church that's offered to help provide us with Bibles for free, so that we can get those sent out to the families. You could donate monetarily. That's always welcome. It's always needed, because on average we're seeing, and it increases each month. But on average, I would say we see anywhere from 4 to 8 families sign up for services, and sometimes it's one child, and then other times it's a patient or a child, and then they have anywhere from one sibling to, I think we had one family with up to 7 siblings. So, and we try to make them all feel special, so we donate those birthday cards to them, and try to keep in touch. You can volunteer. We're trying to arrange an event. We're thinking like some sort of 5K or something like along those lines that might help raise awareness and funds. And the other thing you can do is, if you are a spiritual person who likes to pray, you're welcome to volunteer to be on a prayer team, and you would receive our prayer list, which is here. So those are just different ways that you can volunteer. We can also volunteer to help us deliver goods to the hospital. Or if you want to put together we've had people put together different ideas as far as, maybe we could raise not just funds, but getting items delivered and collecting them and then bringing them to us. That's another great way to volunteer your time. So those are just some ways that to get involved with our organization. And all we ask is that as we approach September, that you guys all wear gold and support childhood cancer awareness in the month of September. It's Childhood Cancer Month, so we're full on swing to we're actually setting up a event for the entire month of September, where people can donate funds in exchange for gold ribbons that we're going to mail to them, so that they can put them up in their house, put them out in front of their yard so they can just show their support for any family who is going through childhood cancer. And then another idea that we've started to work here locally with some of the schools here. We're just trying to work and getting in touch with the right people is like coins for a cure. And essentially we set it up with the schools to have the kids bring in loose change, collect the loose change. And at the end of the month, like for elementary schools, we might like at the end of the month or end of a week or 2 weeks, we say, okay, whoever collects the most money, we get a pizza party to or something like that. So we're working with local schools here in our district to do that as well. But that's our organization. That's what we do. Um, we're proud. We're the only organization in the area that offers the spiritual support. Um, but you know, we were concerned that a lot of people wouldn't sign up at first because of that. But we've had families of both sides who need and want the spiritual support, and we've had families sign up for our services who don't want the spiritual support at all and just wanted to be supported through the birthday club or through other donations. So um, we're excited. We hope to keep growing. We're in our third year operating right now, and we hope to last and keep growing and work for many more.
Brandon, absolutely fantastic. I had no idea you guys were only in your third year. You've accomplished an incredible amount for 36 months into this. Thank you. And amazing. Thank Erica as well. It's what I would have thought was a chance meeting, but clearly everything happens for a reason. I do hope Brandon and I record this and I put this on our YouTube channel. Excuse me 1 second. We're getting an announcement. I'm sitting at the elementary school. We have announcements all day. Brandon, I hope that through some continued visibility and stuff, and if you will send me your slides if you would like, contact info and all that stuff, I will put that out in an email to our membership. We have 500 members in the area, so hopefully that will be additional visibility for you and be cool to get some additional volunteers, support, and all of that.
Well, thank you. We greatly appreciate the opportunity to present to you guys, and we would really appreciate the visibility. That's always we felt like that's always the hardest part with probably with any nonprofit, especially one as small as ours coming out, is just getting our name out there and getting people to know that we're not some scam, like we're not a scam. We're a real organization, really trying to make change in the lives of these kids. So.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't know anyone, Brandon, I'm 44 years old. I don't know anyone who has not been impacted by cancer, whether in their immediate family, their extended family, a dear family friend, a neighbor. I mean, I think everyone knows someone who's been impacted. So it just so happened, and again, I don't believe in coincidence, things happen for a reason, but that I had Heather and you guys scheduled for the same day in advance of Childhood Cancer Month. But I think it's a really, really special and it's dear to people's heart, working in schools, which a lot of our membership is, and working in the community, which is the rest of our membership. I think it's a very, very relevant and very pertinent topic. Questions, ladies and gentlemen, for Brandon today about One Ribbon United? You guys see that? That's my boys. That's Jeremiah and Micah after they got their heads shaved. So thankfully we got to meet the Strodes that day and get to get to know them and get to host them. Brandon, thank you. Much appreciated. Happy to have you. And definitely you got your info down there, I see. And if like I said, if you'll send me your slides and stuff, we'll get that sent out to everyone along with our meeting recording.
Absolutely. Thank you again for the opportunity to be here.
Absolutely. You guys are doing fantastic work. Blessings for sure. So ladies and gentlemen, our last topic of business for the day, unless anybody has any, we've got quite a few bounce back emails that we're getting. and I sent out something about this earlier this morning, but if folks don't mind, I will add um, I'll add our email to the chat. CUSD7.org. Chaz and I were talking about this morning. He thinks it's something to do with the firewall. But we've got first responders net at CUSD7.org. It's through our district email. That's our hosting platform for the group. So if folks can add that as a safe sender, I only get bounce backs when somebody's email is inactive, but I'm either not seeing them, but several other people have contacted me and said, I can email somebody directly, but through the group, it's not working. So if people can grab that and make sure you add it to safe senders, um, much appreciated. Chaz, anything you wanted to add on that?
No, just on that, I think it's just your domain. You might need to talk to your administrator if you don't know how to add that address to your safe senders list. You should be able to do it from your email app, whether it's Outlook or whatever. But if you have questions, you should ask your IT person. Say like, hey, I want to get emails from this place, but it keeps getting bounced back. Because I know like Family Guidance Centers, for instance, was one, and a lot of school systems were gone. I think Brightpoint was one that bounces back all the emails from mental health first responders. So yeah, you just have to work it a little bit to make sure you're getting those emails. And if you're getting the emails from the group, then then it's still getting bounced back, but you're getting it. That's fine.
I was going to say we've got quite a few from Family Guidance Center and from Brightpoint, Chaz, but I did notice that in what you sent me, there was everybody just automatically bounced back. So in any event, and again, I'll look into it from our end as well. And thanks for bringing that to our attention as always. I put the CPDU and CEU form, workshop evaluation for folks who have licenses, whether in school or in the community, whatever. If you got LSW, LCPC, whatever, go ahead and fill that out and you can get some professional development hours. Anything else today for the good of the group?
Hey, I know I sent out the thing that got bounced back yesterday. I sent out that flyer from Spring Health. I met with them. Well, I guess it was yesterday, and I was just really impressed with their enthusiasm and commitment to providing services to the autistic community. We have a lot of, I wouldn't say a lot of issues. It's difficult for us to support kids with autism in our setting because we're so group heavy and they have to participate in the groups and they don't necessarily have the capacity a lot of times to participate in the group. So the groups aren't a good setting for them. The environment isn't necessarily a good setting for them. So a lot of times we don't admit those kids. And I find there's just not enough resources for them. So even if you look over that flyer that I forwarded and you think, oh, this kid that I'm thinking of won't be valid or won't be accepted by this program, contact them anyway, because she said that, things are always changing and they also have contacts all around the state that might be able to help you out. So again, sometimes you sit down with the folks, and you just automatically feel like, hey, these are people that are really after it, that really know what they're doing and they're really committed. And that was a feeling I got yesterday. So I encourage anybody who needs support for any autistic person, whether it's kid or adult, to contact them.
Excellent. Much appreciated, my friend. Anything else anybody's got for us today before we sign off?
Quiet group today. Wow.
It is all good. We're just rolling. Our next meeting, ladies and gentlemen, the 25th of September, same time, 11 a.m. We've got a couple of friends and colleagues, Steve White and Kate Green, which I love. Steve White, Kate Green, White and Green from Cohen Counseling, both longtime colleagues in the Jerseyville School District who are working for Cohen now. They're going to talk about bridging the gap between school and community counseling, access to referrals and services and all of that, which is going to be super cool. Then I have a young lady I've known for a very long time and had some of her family members in school. And she's going to talk about Jane's House, which is a new sober living facility they're trying to get going in the Jersey and northern Madison County area. So looking forward to that for next month. And we'll get everything from today sent out, and we'll get our info sent out for next time as well. Cheers, everybody. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kevin. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.